historic decision by the school board in Duval County. It wraps up nearly a year of controversy over both the concept and the cost of removing names associated with Confederate figures.
We have been able to continue providing a high-quality education to our children throughout a pandemic. And so this has been a very challenging year. It's certainly added complications to this process.
That process initiated by Warren Jones, one of our guests today. We're also talking about downtown development and the two most recent proposals in Jacksonville. We'll show you some of the plans, and we'll talk with the leader of the Downtown Investment Authority. Plus, not at all new to the area, but we'll interview the new president and chief executive for Baptist Health in Northeast Florida. All on This Week in Jacksonville. And welcome to June. So grateful that you are joining us on this Sunday morning. As a matter of fact, Warren Jones is joining us this morning following that historic vote by the Duval County School Board. 9 school names were up for change consideration. The board voted this week to change 6 of them. And Warren Jones, it's good to have you back in studio with us to talk about this. I read this week that you had mentioned George Floyd's death more than a year ago led you to bring this issue to the board. So maybe explain why and what the connection is with changing these names.
Sure. Of course, we've had a number of challenges this school year. And after the murder of George Floyd and the mayor removing the Confederate monument from Hemming Park, which is now called James Weldon Johnson Park, I knew that the focus would move from the city to the school board. And I wanted to make sure that we were proactive and address those issues of the 6 schools named for Confederate soldiers that we have in Duval County. And the chamber was very supportive, the Times Union, a number of it was a total community effort. And I just want to thank the community for their participation, their advocacy, Northside Coalition. Those folks, I mean, they really came together to help direct the city and school district to do what should have been done a long time ago.
And it was not unanimous consent of all the people. Certainly there were some folks who said, no, I don't want this the name of the school I went to or the school in my community to change. How do you feel about the process, and what kind of feedback or reaction did you get through this whole 11 months that we've gone through to get to this point?
Well, we wanted to make sure that, 1, it was transparent. 2, that we wanted to make sure that there was total community involvement. We had all our stakeholders participate in the community meetings. There was at a vote, although School Board Policy 8.59 only requires that the superintendent solicit community input. It doesn't have to be a vote. And I felt like I didn't want to see our school board employees taken away from their main mission, which is to educate our kids. So I asked the supervisor of election, Mike Hogan, if he would conduct the election. He did. Unfortunately, that gave the impression to many people that that would determine the outcome. And of course, that was only a recommendation to the superintendent, who then makes a recommendation to the board, who makes the final decision.
How do you feel about how that final decision stands, considering people voted and considering the superintendent made a recommendation which, by and large, the board followed?
I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, it was a community effort. Almost every stakeholder group supported the name change, even of the most controversial one, which is Robert E. Lee, except for the alumni. And I understand, and I've spoken with, I even mentioned that Norman Abraham and those folks who attended Robert E. Lee, I understood their passion, their concern, but I felt like it was time to move on. And I supported the students. In every instance, the students voted to change the name of their school because they understood the history of it. Yeah. And they understood the context in which the school was named. The United Daughters of the Confederacy in the 20s wanted to name 3 schools after Confederate officers, and the school board did with no public comment. And so those who criticized the process and the voting, they didn't criticize the one that led when people of colored folks could not register and vote. They didn't criticize that process, but they wanted to criticize the one that allowed everyone to participate.
I want to show, we've got a graphic showing the 6 schools, their previous name, the names that are being changed to, and as you're looking at that, Mr. Jones, the board chair, Elizabeth Anderson, apologized Tuesday night, saying that the process took too long, saying it's been a strain on the community. Do you agree with that? Has this taken too long?
Given the pandemic, given the effort to get the half penny approved, given the holidays that were involved in that process. I don't think it took too long. I wish we could have done it a lot sooner. I think we all felt like it could have been done quicker. But our main mission, we can't divert our resources from our main mission, which is to educate our children.
Yeah. You're a longtime public servant in our community, 28 years, city council between two different stints now, school board. You are a black man, a black leader in something that seemed to be, a lot of people said, hey, this is race related. Did you face any kind of criticism or attacks or assaults from people who wanted to turn it into something like that because of who you are, because of your race?
Somewhat. It wasn't unexpected by me. I grew up here. I love this city. I have classmates who left because they didn't feel like they could achieve their lifelong goals by staying in Jacksonville. And I felt like with good leadership, honest leadership, we can make a difference. And I think we've made a difference by changing the names of those 6
Does this make it better, more equal? Does it make it better for people of color and other minorities to be in schools here?
I think it does. I think when you look at the history behind the 6 names and how those individuals fought to overthrow the government, how they fought to preserve slavery, states' rights, which was the right to own slaves. I think having their names on those buildings as the students learn and fought to change, I think will give a sense of pride. And some of the rhetoric we heard during those community meetings, I think, was an embarrassment to a lot of people in Jacksonville, and some of that went viral. And I think that's why the chamber and other groups said, hey, it's time to move on. We got to get this behind us. You saw the Confederate flags flying in the parking lot of the school board building on Tuesday. Part of the continued intimidation to intimidate the people who want to change the name. So I think we're in a good place. I think we'll move on. I was involved with the initial human rights ordinance. People felt like that was divisive. We're a better city because of that. And I think we'll be a better city, a more inclusive city, a more caring city because of what we did Tuesday night.
Warren Jones, I appreciate your time and explaining some of the process here and what you've gone through, what our city has gone through here in these last 11 months. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Ken.
All right, so appreciate our guest being with us. And like Warren Jones, Lori Boyer was once president of City Council. The now leader of the city's DIA is joining us next. That's on This Week in Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere.
Hungry for something hot and juicy?
Maybe.
Breaded by hand?
Sounds steamy.
Nestled between 2 toasted buns?
Toasty.
The new hand-breaded chicken sandwich from Hardee's.
Feed your happy.
I would definitely say I did not smile at all.
I had a lack of confidence. It really made me sad.
I think a smile is one of the most important things anyone can have.
I really don't think that anybody can do what Dr. David is doing right now.
I went in there, and in 1 week, I came out with the smile that you see right now.
It feels better than my real teeth.
I had the all zirconia procedure done.
And I had my permanent zirconia teeth.
In 1 week.
News 4 Jax consumer investigator Lauren Verno, protecting your money.
At Ascension St. Vincent's, our doctors, nurses, and care teams chose to be among the first in the nation to receive the COVID-19 vaccination. For us, this is more than a vaccine. It's an additional shot of hope and an extra dose of strength. This means we have heightened safety precautions, making sure we're protecting your family and ours. Schedule the care you need today at getjaxhealthcare.com.
The Bacon Double Stack is back in the biggie bag for just $5, only at Wendy's.
With a SunTrust checking account, you can bank virtually wherever and whenever you want to bank. Use our mobile app to pay your bills, deposit checks, and then get back on your way.
Don't let an X-ray tell you your pain isn't real. We work with doctors who can see what X-rays can't. Farah and Farah, here for you, here for good.
Introducing the Lowe's List, a selection of our most innovative picks, like the exclusive Whirlpool 2-in-1 washer that lets you customize any load. Look for the full Lowe's List online or find the badge in our store. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
You like it made from scratch?
We know you do.
How about hot and hand-breaded?
That looks crispy.
First thing in the morning.
Not your grandpa's biscuit.
The new hand-breaded chicken biscuit from Hardee's.
Feed your happy.
Thank you for waking up and starting your day with us.
Helping you get ready for the day ahead.
And for making News for Jax your first choice for local news every day.
Number 1 morning news. Number 1 4 p.m. news. Number 1 early evening news. Number 1 late news. The number 1 local news website and nearly 250,000 live streams in 1 month.
So thank you.
And we'll see you in the morning.
The Morning Show on Channel 4 makes mornings happen. You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
And this segment, we welcome back Lori Boyer, the CEO of Jacksonville's Downtown Investment Authority. Wow, busy week. 2 very big proposals becoming public this past week. One of them took me at least a little bit by surprise, a $1.1 billion proposal to develop the North Bank from the old landing site east of the old courthouse, City Hall complex. What are the particulars here, and how does this process move forward?
So that is a vision plan, is what I'll refer to it. And that was submitted by Steve Atkins. He held a press conference to release it. He's been working on it for some time. And it includes both public and privately owned property. And from our perspective, this is not something that DIA initiated or worked on in any way. And several of those parcels are already subject to other open procurement processes. So, I mean, our message would be a couple things. Number 1 is we're always excited to have developers and private investors looking at downtown. So in that sense, it's very positive. As far as the specifics of the plan, we have open procurements where people invested their money to participate in the bid process that's been established to ensure transparency and to ensure that everybody gets a fair chance, and we're going to honor those process. So for the time being, neither the courthouse City Hall annex site nor the current Riverfront Plaza landing site are really available for consideration of an alternative proposal.
So if someone comes up with a vision proposal like this, can they clear those barriers? And how do they do that? Are there negotiations? Hey, I'd like to talk about this piece that maybe is spoken for. How does that work?
Not until those procurements are terminated. So the RFP on the landing in particular site is going through a design competition, and that the design results will be presented in an open forum on the 24th of June, and we encourage everyone to come to the library and see them and provide public comments. We're looking for the public input on what should be on that site. And then a winning design will be selected there. As far as the Courthouse City Hall Annex site, until we terminate the current award with the winning bidder, we would not entertain a discussion with anyone else.
All right. Very helpful, again, to understand the process and what goes into that. Let's talk about this other thing. Thursday, the Jaguars announced their development plan at the shipyards. It's a $441 million plan. It would add a Four Seasons hotel to the North Bank, new $120 million player performance center. That's part of the plan as well. And we're showing you some of these images and renderings that they released as we talk. So, Lori Boyer, Shad Khan, the Jaguars owner, he's been asking for this kind of development. There have been proposals before. How can this come together, or how will this come together where the other projects maybe didn't?
So I think it's in a very different stage. What you've seen before were, when we talk about those open bid processes, the Jaguars showed renderings and they might have won bids and had a right to address the property, but they were never really moving forward with a specific term sheet and a specific disposition on a piece of property where they were going to develop it within a time frame. That's where we are now. It's a very different dynamic. So as was indicated today, they've been talking to us for some time, and we are in the stage where we are discussing the details and refining the terms that we would consider for a disposition of a piece of property in the shipyards area. And once we come to those terms, we'd be presenting that to our board, and then it would go through our board process and then on to City Council. So you should probably expect that during the summer.
So also part of the project, and again, you saw some of the images there, an office building, orthopedic sports medicine complex, improvements to the city-owned marina, public spaces. If these plans were approved, we're told that Four Seasons would open maybe as early as 2025. Is this kind of timeline, is it realistic? Is it optimistic?
I think it's pretty realistic. We have some hurdles that we are working through. So for example, the Hart Bridge construction project is still ongoing, and the contractor that's working on that has a right to occupy the space where the medical office building would go until August of 2022. So nobody can start on any other construction till they finish that project. So those types of details we're working through, but I think the schedule is not unrealistic that we're dealing with now.
So it wasn't immediately clear how much of this big project, $441 million, that would be paid for by the Jaguars, how much would be paid with taxpayer money. But as you mentioned, this proposal, this would need to go through the Downtown Investment Authority. That seems like that would really lean into your experience in City Council. You've got experience in both of these worlds that all come together, right?
Right, and just to be clear, as it was presented today, the performance venue, which is the training facility on the practice field location, would not be going through DIA. That would go straight to City Council because it's like a stadium improvement. It's part of the public facilities that would be the stadium improvement. And I believe that one is a 50-50 contribution, shared cost. And as far as the private development that's proposed on the Shipyards Kids campus area, that's the part that we're working on.
Maybe wrap us up in this segment, at least on this note. So we just talked about a couple of different proposals here. Sound like one is much further along, or more viable maybe than another. But we ran a YouSay poll of our viewers this week and just asked when that Riverfront Jacksonville announcement happened, hey, do you think this project will actually happen? Like 80% said no, there's just going to be another disappointment when it comes to development in downtown. What do you say to folks who they're a little wounded, they're a little pessimistic about what we can do to improve the city? What do you say to those folks who say, this kind of stuff isn't going to happen?
Well, so one thing I would say is be a cautious listener and observer of media and press releases, because your point is well taken. One of these is following a process is very far along and is very likely to happen. The other of these is someone's vision on someone else's property. And you know, the fact that those are released, the public shouldn't get too invested in those because there really isn't a clear path forward for those to happen.
Yeah, Lori Boyer, I appreciate it. And helpful, in this case, we have these two proposals we could talk about and see how they're different. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to hear from Michael Mayo in a moment. He's leading a signature healthcare provider in our region. That's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
Things seem to get more expensive as the years go by. Take groceries. Prices have been going up there. And keeping up with your health, that's up too. But did you know at FPL, what you pay for energy has gone down over the last 15 years? And that's something we can take to the bank.
Getting your air ducts thoroughly cleaned takes the trained professionals at Stanley Steamer using the most powerful equipment to get the most powerful results. Our equipment goes deep inside your ducts, removing years of dirt, pet hair, allergens, even dust mites. Unlike other air duct cleaning companies, Stanley Steamer cleans your entire system. Just look at how much dirt can be removed. Call today for a free inspection and save $50 on a cleaning.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
If all of this makes you happy, then you'll be happy to know that all of this is only $1 each at Arby's from 2 to 5 every day. Hope you like happiness. Arby's, we have the meats.
Great parties start by recycling the new Ball aluminum cup. In about 60 days, the recycled aluminum can return as part of other infinitely recyclable, lightweight yet sturdy cups. Bringing out the best in cold drinks and lifting up any get-together. So enjoy. Reuse just a few times if you like, and then recycle the new Ball aluminum cup because the party starts here. Find us in your store's disposable section and choose aluminum over plastic.
It's your guardian angel. It's your muse. It's your smart dressed, tech intense, safety obsessed superhero, the Hyundai Sonata and Elantra. Hey, it's your journey. Own it. Now get 0% APR plus 1,000 bonus cash on the Elantra or Sonata, or up to $2,500 in savings. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
In a world where temptation lurked around every corner, there's a league of Baby Bell cheese, helping us to realize another snack is possible. And now it's your turn to spread the goodness. Are you ready? Baby Bell, join the goodness.
Introducing Plus Vitamins and Plus Probiotic, 2 new powerful ways to plus up the goodness.
If you've been injured, Harrell & Harrell will turn your pain into healing. We walk alongside our clients through a difficult time in their lives and help them to be whole again. If you've been injured, let us help you. Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Introducing the Lowe's List, a selection of our most innovative picks, like Samsung's connected appliances that let you control your home from anywhere. Look for the full Lowe's list online or find the badge in our store. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
And this week, Baptist Health in Northeast Florida named a new president and CEO. The board chose Michael A. Mayo, who's joining us now. And I'm so glad to get to meet you and visit. Help people understand the change in your role. You've been interim, and it's not like you're the CEO of a hospital. It's the system here for Baptist Health, right?
That's correct. I've had the privilege of being named the permanent CEO for Baptist Health, which includes our 5 hospitals and multiple other components of our health system.
You've also been involved in the region for a while. I was looking at your bio. Involved with Baptist, tell us how long there. And then you've got, 3 decades of healthcare experience.
I have, Ken. I have enjoyed my career in healthcare, and I spent the majority of it all added together here in Jacksonville. The past 10 years, I've served as president of the Baptist Medical Center of Jacksonville. It's the flagship facility for our health system.
Yeah, I asked you earlier if people get confused or your last name is Mayo. Wait, you're not with Mayo Clinic. This is about Baptist Health. Is that confusing for people?
Well, it's actually a great conversation starter because when I'm rounding in the hospital, people will stop me or I'll stop them to ask if I can help them find their way. And they'll see Mayo on my badge and they go, Mayo? And I go, yeah, that's me. I am the Mayo.
We know because of Baptist and because of Mayo, because of the other healthcare centers here, medicine in the region is really something. How is it changing? And what's your vision for how things change in terms of medical care here in Northeast?
That's a great question. And first of all, I think I want to reassure and educate the community if they don't realize what great health care we have in our region and in the city of Jacksonville, Duval County. There are multiple excellent facilities here in town doing research and all different kinds of things, from the University Hospital, the Mayo Clinic, to Ascension, HCA, Baptist, and the Naval Hospital as well. It's predominantly focused, for the most part, has been in either inpatient or outpatient care, seeing your primary care physician. But moving forward in the future, we really are all about health. We want to help you stay healthy and not have to be in the hospital unless your life is interrupted by an illness or injury.
Yeah, nobody's looking forward to that hospital stay.
No,
exactly. No. So when we talk about the Baptist healthcare system, 5 hospitals, 4 emergency centers. I read 55 primary care offices, more than 13,000 team members, 1,762 physicians. So that's a lot to kind of quarterback on a team, isn't it?
It is, but we are well equipped with an outstanding leadership team across the entire system. And the real strength of our organization are the individuals that make up our team members that care for the patient at the bedside, in the primary care offices, in our emergency departments, our freestanding emergency rooms. That is where we're able to do the work we do here in Jacksonville.
You told me it was okay to call you Michael, so
That's
thank
correct.
you for that. And Michael, I want to show something here. Baptist Health Board Chair is Richard Sosiski, who's been with us on our program before. He said, We commend Michael for the thoughtful, decisive, and effective manner in which he has led Baptist Health as interim CEO. We unanimously chose to forego our search process because we realized the right leader was already with us. What does that mean to you? What a compliment. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a tremendous compliment, and it expresses to me the trust that the Board of Trustees had in me to assume these responsibilities. And I thank them and that confidence they have in me. And more importantly, I have been sent many messages from our team members who are pleased that I'm able to fill this role. But really, it allows me to extend my career into a role that I can have a real impact in a way across the system as large as it is, and be a part of the leadership in our greater community in terms of how we steer the health of the people of Jacksonville for the future.
What is your vision for the future? Is there more expansion, or how do things go in this time that you're going to be leading Baptist Health?
First of all, I'm going to continue on the track that we're on the objectives that we're working on towards bringing better health to our community. As I stated before, a lot of things are going to be moving from outside the inpatient care centers, and what we want to do is get involved in more things that are going to help people maintain their health going forward. We'll be involved in as many communities with our healthy living centers. We're looking at our community of our older folks in our community with our age well centers. We want to we want to be the portal opportunity for every healthcare need that anyone has in our community.
I know personally, I've gotten great care at Baptist Health when I've needed care. There's this other thing that is this jewel of our community as well. That's the Wilson Children's Hospital. How does that fit into what Baptist is and who we are in the region?
Well, I like what our chairman, Richard Sosiski, says, that it's one of the jewels in our crown. It is the only children's hospital between Atlanta and Orlando, and until you get to Savannah, Charleston. And so we serve a wide area of children that have very, very specific needs. I enjoy the opportunity to be a part of that and the outreach that we have, because children are our future and we want to make their health very good.
I think I'd read in the news release your announcement that you live in San Marco area. Are you walking to work?
Not yet.
Okay. We appreciate the time. Michael A. Mayo, congratulations on the promotion and being the leader here in our community.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. So we had two former city council presidents with us this morning, right? Ahead this month, the incoming president will join us. It's an historic move. We're going to speak with Sam Newby just before he's installed. We're also working to have council members Jacoby Pittman and Joyce Morgan join us soon. Plus, State Senator Jennifer Bradley is on the calendar. This week in Jacksonville, that's the place they'll be in order for you to get to meet them and hear more from them. This Week in Jacksonville airs each Sunday morning at this time, by the way. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air on Channel 4 and the CW17, and you can find us online at news4jax.com.
Why every day more people are choosing News 4 Jax, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.